The weather here in Medford is very unpredictable. In this video, we're going to be talking about the weather and what to kind of expect if you're considering moving here. If this is your first time here on this channel, welcome. My name is Armstrong with the Armstrong Realty Group located here in Southern Oregon. And on this channel, I make videos all about eating, sleeping, everything that you need to know about living here in Southern Oregon. So if you are considering the move or just visiting, make sure you reach out. All my contact information is down below, or feel free to drop a comment. I try to get back to those as fast as possible. This video though, it's going to be short and sweet, to the point. Obviously, seasons, it's not like there's a whole lot to them, honestly, but we have 5 seasons here. I know what you're thinking, there's 1 extra season there, and I will get to that at the end of this video, so make sure you stick around to the very end so you can understand that and how to prepare. The first one we're going to talk about though is wintertime. Wintertime here is relatively wet and cold. We don't get nearly as much rain as, you know, the cities up north, Eugene, Portland, Salem, those areas, but we do get a decent amount of rain and snowpack. We don't get snow on the Rogue Valley floor, Medford area very often. Maybe 1 or 2 days out of the year, we'll get snow that actually sticks on the valley floor. For the most part though, the hills and all that, they do get snow. Once again, this last season though, we didn't get a whole lot of rain or snowpack, so kind of put us in a drought, which is kind of terrifying going into the summertime. Every few years though, we do see a pretty big snowstorm come through that has dropped down up to like 12 to 13 inches I've seen. So it is possible, and trust me, when that does happen, nobody here in this town seems to know how to drive in the snow, obviously because it doesn't happen very often. Try to stay off the roads when that happens because it can get scary. The next season is springtime. Probably the least predictable season here. We sometimes get all the seasons in one day. It seems like you can wake up with it snowing. By the time noontime rolls around, it's turned to rain, and boom, afternoon, you're talking 75, flip-flops, sipping a Mai Tai in your front yard. Okay, maybe not sipping a Mai Tai, but you get the point. Majority of our rainfall comes in the early springtime, and I would say average temp is anywhere from like 55 upwards to like 75. Then we have the summertime. And the summertimes here are hot. Southern Oregon brings the heat. If you're moving here from Texas, Arizona, southern states like that, you're gonna laugh in my face for saying that. Because obviously it's not nearly as hot as that. I had my my best friend's sister moved here from Texas, and it was early summertime, late spring, and I remember she had the heater on. And I mean, it was far too hot for us. We're like, you are crazy. Just take that into consideration when you are thinking about moving here, where you're moving from, what that climate's like, and kind of plan accordingly. Because like I said, if you're moving here from a southern state where 110, 115 degrees in the summertime is common, our high temps are going to be nothing for you. Now, if you're moving here from South Dakota, North Dakota, our temps are going to be like, wow, that's melting me, and your winters are a joke. Just think about that. Take it with a grain of salt. On average, we're high 90s, low hundreds. We just actually broke a few records for June, which is just crazy. We were at 115 one day. I think for about a week, we were like over 110. It was very hot. For me personally, I feel like anything over 100 degrees, it just feels hot. Like, I mean, 100 to 115 doesn't really feel that different. If you agree, let me know in the comments. Usually we only see triple digits though, late July, early August, and it's usually about 2 to 3 weeks we see those. You can expect 95 up to 100 degrees, but this year doesn't seem very typical. We're like, oh,
2020's over, like let's really get weird here.
Fall is probably my favorite just because it is the most predictable and the most even tempered. Early mornings are relatively cool. You're talking high 30s, low 40s, and it's enough to keep your house cool throughout the day, which is nice because then it helps save on the energy bill. You know, you're not heating your house all day like you're on in summertime. Then the afternoon, evenings, it gets up to, you know, 70 to 85, which to me is like the perfect temperature. You can get outside, get some yard work done, not have to worry about dying of a heat stroke. And yeah, so it's just, to me, it's the perfect temperature. Now, obviously, as you get closer to the wintertime, it gets a little bit more wet, cold. Averaged out, you can expect probably about 70 to 85. Now for the 5th season is going to be fire season. Fire season is a real thing here, and it's progressively getting worse. I lived here my entire life. I don't remember fire seasons ever being as bad as they have been the past few years. I've talked about this in other videos as well. What ends up happening is when these fires pop up, all the smoke ends up sitting here in the Rogue Valley area. And so if you have asthma or anything like that, summertimes are going to be rough for you. Last summer was not terrible aside from the Almeda fire. This summer seems like we are seeing so many more fires. I don't know if it's just because, you know, there's like some PTSD, some trauma from the Almeda fire burning through, you know, Phoenix and Talent last year, that everyone's just more aware. So you're seeing, you know, more vehicle fires, structure fires. It seems like there's more fires everywhere right now. So if you feel the same way and you're from here, let me know in the comments, because I'm curious to see if I'm just alone in this. I'm just weird. Wildfires are pretty bad. And especially after last year, I know quite a few people who now constantly just have a to-go bag ready. So it might be a wise choice, because the Atlanta fire actually wasn't even a wildland fire. It started in the town, and it showed really like how quickly a fire can burn through these towns. Because I mean, the fire started around like 11 or 12 or something like that, I think it was, and by 3 o'clock, like, they were evacuating Phoenix. It was a scary time. You know, it's the first time I've ever seen that. I don't know if that's ever actually happened up here, to be honest with you. So yeah, so those are some things to consider. Make sure you check out some of these videos on the screen here though. That way you can learn more about living here in Southern Oregon. And if you've made it this far, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that